What's up, guys and gals? Your host with the most Griever, as always, bringing you some more Record of Ragnarok Season 2 reviews. Episode reviews. This is episode 6, entitled Conflicting Motives. Now, I know episode 5 review was a little lengthy. This one will be a lot shorter, but episode 6 is no slouch. Episode 6 gives us some added context to one of the better scenes. I already said in the last review, definitely go check that out. I already said that one of the things that took away from round 5 and how good it may or may not be, because we start off the later half of this episode with the beginnings of round 5, Raiden versus Shiva. Pretty fucking cool. Or is it Shiva or Shiva? Anyways, the fact of the matter is that we get some added stuff. What took away from round 5 in the manga was this scene being intercut, the scene from the later half of episode 5 and the beginning part here of episode 6. But we also get some added shit. It's small, but it matters. It's important. They extend it. They add a little bit of filler, and it confirms something that people have long thought is going to be the case. And I would put dollars to donuts that it probably is one of the matchups. So, first and foremost, this scene with Buddha and everybody. Absolutely awesome. Though I do have one question. I questioned it in the manga. I question it here. What the hell was Okita and Kondo going to do? And even by that logic, Sasaki, none of them have Volend right now. They wouldn't be able to harm Loki, Bishamon, and any of them. Even if the other 7 lucky gods like Ibisu are kind of fodder gods, and Okita and Sasaki are super badass, they don't have Volend. So or Volender, whatever. They don't have Volends. So they wouldn't be able to actually cut them down or hurt them. So they were willing, knowingly, going up against and backing Buddha up with no and like, that's bold. They know that they need it. It's round 5 time. It's in between rounds. We're gonna start round 5, and you're telling me that they actually had the balls. Like, pretty awesome. Samurai are just cool. Okay, Shinsengumi, world's greatest loser. They're just badasses. Now, yeah, so with that question out of the way, like, how was that going to go down? First and foremost was, okay, so Buddha is a badass. I like Buddha's English VA. He has a lot of fun. His lifestyle stuff. There is one little nitpick in that scene. I didn't get a chance to check out the Japanese version because I've really just been enjoying the English VAs for especially Loki and Jack, as I've already stated. So I watched this in English and I'm reviewing it right now. I'll probably go back and watch it in Japanese with subs at a later date. But one of the lines, which of course is a classic Buddha line, within heaven and earth, I alone am the enlightened one, that kind of idea. There's a play on that in the manga and probably in the Japanese subs, is that, between heaven and earth, the only one who can, that can command me, is how he walks away from Zeus at the end of this scene, because Zeus says, hey, try not to cause too much, don't stir up so much trouble, and he basically says, I don't have to listen to you. I don't listen to anybody but myself. You are not above me, sort of idea. But he uses the Buddha line to do it. He says it in English, and the English VA does a fine job of Buddha. I don't mind it. Some lines could have probably had a couple more takes, but for the most part, I'm really enjoying Buddha's English VA. But he says something along those lines. But I think the point was to say the heaven and earth, I alone. That's sort of part of the line. So, anyways, it took away some of the meaning for me. Just a little nitpick there. Loki versus Okita. Extended, was not in the manga. The fact that they have this big conversation between the two of them. Like, you piss me off. You piss me off too. You think you can win. Oh, I absolutely can. And then they go at it. You're dead. And they go at it and stuff. We see Loki with the, with the palm blades and stuff. But they actually start to fight. So, like, they actually block some of the attacks, and Okita and Loki sort of start to go at it, and I love the the little fire animation, the little the aura animation of the eyes with Okita. It looks really cool. Zeus has it too, but it looks really cool on Okita there in the red. And basically, this is all but confirming what a lot of people have said. A lot of people assume a couple of matchups that we still haven't seen in the manga, but a lot of the matchups people assume is Leonidas against Odin, Apollo versus Simon, Rasputin versus Anubis, and Loki versus Okita. Those are some of the matchups that most of the fan base is assuming or want to see, etc., etc. I think that the anime has the knowledge, because why showcase that? Like, now they've established that they had a clash. There's just no way. Now this is all but confirming, so I love the anime for doing that. Basically confirming what we all assumed, but it's going to be kind of cool. Maybe this is round 9. We're still into round 8 in the manga, but maybe round 9 is Okita versus Loki. Finally, I'd like to see Loki fucking cut down. I'd really like to see Loki take a shit kicking. And I think Okita can be the one to do it. Now, another great thing, another extended part of this scene is Odin's... First off, Odin's theme with the big friggin', you know, the organ music. You know, like, holy shit. Odin shows up. I don't know if we had this OST in the first season. Did not rewatch the first season before watching season 2, so I don't know if this is a new OST. It is fucking terrifying. It is fucking amazing, and they don't play it just once. They play it twice. They extend his aura thing. The aura thing was really cool. How they actually showcase him like this ghostly, like, vestige, just completely... His aura just completely grows and gets this larger-than-life feeling. The sky turns this purplish black. The glass actually, you know, around this dome, around this garden, actually breaks and cracks and all this stuff, showcasing that it's not just their imagination. This is almost like metaphysically, but physically actually happening and stuff. It's very badass, especially with the organ theme of Odin's there. I'm assuming it's Odin's theme because it's Odin. And then it's played a second time because it's so goddamn good when Odin, of course, showcases off his ability, which... Is anybody else reminded of Bargon here? Just saying, King of Waco Mundo sort of vibes going on here. Odin sitting back, everything decays. He turns this beautiful, godlike heaven's garden itself into this just barren, blackened ash wasteland, just with his mere presence, his mere aura is decaying everything, destroying all life surrounding him. I'm reminded very heavily of Espada number 2 in Bleach, and that's not a bad thing. That would suit Odin's kingly nature like crazy. It just works out so well. There's a nice exchange also, of course, in the manga. This is all in the manga, of course, everything else. But there's a really nice exchange between the Shinsengumi. This is why Sasaki and the Shinsengumi start to watch the rounds together, because they band together to get behind Buddha to say, hey, we'll lend you a hand. We don't like unfair fights. And then, you know, they move on to go watch the next round, that kind of idea. After that part, so that scene is really cool. Buddha walks off. No confirmation yet. What, you know, Loki's like, are you a traitor? What if I am? I'll kill you. All this stuff. Very good job in the scene, the pacing, the voice acting, the animation, everything greatness. After this, so after the scene where Odin completely destroys the garden, Zeus walks off and everybody goes their separate ways along with Bishamonten and everybody else, we actually get to meet the fighter. We meet the fighter for humanity, who is Raiden, the greatest, the peerless Rikishi, I believe is how you say it. Raiden is the sumo man, and he's this big, imposing guy. His introduction is just like it was in the manga. It's very, alright, it's all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll with this guy. Well, more so about sleeping, you know, all about desires, like eating your fill before, like, till your stomach bursts, sleeping your fill, sex, all that stuff. Now, they do not show a certain, I don't know if anybody was hoping for the anamorphic, the fox or the wolf or whatever, because he doesn't care. He'll basically bang anything as long as it's got a nice pair of legs, pretty much, right? So they sort of cut out some of the showcasing, a little less of the women. Of course, they toned it down a little bit in the anime, but still, he still teams up with Thrud, the third, I believe, Valkyrie's sister, who's the biggest, the strongest, and she's this imposing, towers over Raiden, and Raiden's like, I love big girls, let's go, let's become one sort of idea, right? So Raiden enters, he gets all the tattoos, his body is going to be his Volend, his body is actually going to be his Volend, and Shiva enters the scene. Now, Shiva is voiced in the English by Bon. Bon's VA from the same VA from Seven Deadly Sins. Love that English voice. I love the VA. I'm very bad with names, so I always forget the actors. But same voice as Bon. Absolutely love it. So even though Shiva's sort of a I don't hate him, I don't love him as far as a character goes. Though my most popular video, one of my most popular videos on here is still the discussion of real world Shiva and the interpretation here in Record of Ragnarok, because this, in both the manga and the anime, pissed off many people who follow Hinduism and stuff like that. This interpretation pissed off a lot of people. I got a lot of comments about that, but I'm kind of excited because I think I'm going to enjoy, as I've already said, I think I'm going to enjoy round 5 a lot more now that they've moved that entire scene instead of, because they cut that up like 3 or 4 times in the manga. Now they combine that entire scene, the confrontation between Buddha and Loki and everybody else has all been created into one full scene, put right even before we met up with Raiden, and now Raiden enters the arena, we got Shiva entered the arena, and it's time for them to come to blows. Let's go. Episode 6, not round 6, episode 6 being quite a good episode. Covered a lot of the really cool stuff that happens, and now basically I think that the last 7, 8, 9, and 10, I believe that this round probably ends at the very end of episode 9. 3 episodes seems like enough. 3.5 episodes seems like enough. But then again, it depends on how long they take for both backstories, for both Raiden and Shiva. So potentially into episode 10. I realistically thought that episode 10 would introduce what's going to go down with round 6. But at this pacing, now that we're already going to be into episode 7, I think that takes all 4 episodes almost, with both backstories. Shiva's backstory, though not one of the better backstories, is quite long, and it depends on how much they either compartmentalize that or they expand upon it. How much they show, how much they filler. If they filler any of it, like they did with the scene between Buddha and Loki, if they filler any of that scene and extend it a little bit for a little extra runtime than it was done in the manga, then potentially we have all the way to the end of episode 10 before the conclusion of round 5. So, looking forward to it though. Losing light here fast, so I'm just going to end the review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will definitely be back here with the episode 7 review. Hope you guys have been enjoying all the reviews thus far. Let me know down in the comment section down below how much you have been either enjoying or not enjoying, of course, Season 2 of Record of Ragnarok. And we'll see you guys back here next time. As I already stated, don't forget to subscribe. And that's it from me. Sayonara.